After 10 long years of war, the city of Troy had fallen. Now one hero began an even greater adventure, the journey home. This is the Odyssey. His name was Odysseus, the cleverest of all the Greeks. All he wanted was to return to his island of Ithaca, to his wife and son. But the journey would take 10 more years. First, they reached the land of the lotus eaters, where a magical flower made anyone who tasted it forget their home forever. Odysseus had to drag his men back to the ship before they all forgot why they wanted to go home at all. Next, they were trapped in the cave of Polyphemus, a giant with a single eye in the middle of his forehead. The giant asked the hero his name. Cleverly, Odysseus answered, "My name is Nobody." That night, the men outwitted the giant and blinded his single eye. When he cried for help, he shouted that nobody had heard him, so no one came. To escape, the men clung beneath the giant's sheep and slipped out of the cave to freedom. The wind god Aeolus gave Odysseus a special gift, a leather bag holding all the stormy winds, so only a gentle breeze would carry them home. But just as Ithaca came into view, his curious crew opened the bag, and the trapped winds burst out and blew them far, far away. On the next island lived Circe, an enchantress who turned several of his men into pigs with a wave of her wand. With the help of a god and a magic herb, Odysseus broke her spell and freed his men. Ahead lay the sirens, whose beautiful song lured sailors to their doom. Odysseus had his crew plug their ears and tied himself to the mast so he could listen and survive. Then came the deadliest passage of all, between Scylla, a six-headed monster, and Charybdis, a giant whirlpool that swallowed the sea. On a sunny island grazed the sacred cattle of the sun. Odysseus warned his men never to touch them. But while he slept, his hungry crew disobeyed and feasted on the forbidden cattle. As punishment, a terrible storm destroyed the ship. Every sailor was lost, and only Odysseus survived, clinging to a broken plank. He washed ashore on the island of the goddess Calypso, who kept him there for 7 long years while he longed for home. At last the gods took pity. Calypso set him free, and Odysseus built a raft and sailed on alone. But Poseidon, god of the sea, still raged against him, and shattered his little raft with a mighty storm. Exhausted, he was found by kind strangers who listened to his incredible story and gave him a ship to carry him home at last. After 20 years, Odysseus finally set foot on Ithaca, but to stay safe, he disguised himself as an old beggar. Only his old dog, Argos, recognized him at once and was overjoyed to see his master return. His palace was full of greedy suitors, each demanding to marry his faithful wife, Penelope, and take his throne. Penelope set a contest. She would marry whoever could string the great bow of Odysseus and shoot an arrow through 12 axe heads. One by one the suitors failed. Then the old beggar lifted the bow with ease and sent the arrow flying straight through all 12 axes. In that moment, Odysseus threw off his disguise. The hero had come home, and he drove the greedy suitors from his palace. At last, Odysseus was reunited with his loyal wife Penelope, his grown son, and his old father. After 20 years, his long journey was finally over, and so ends the greatest adventure of the ancient world. If you enjoyed the tale, subscribe and follow for more legends from ancient Greece.